Well, as promised, the border czar is going after Trump's enemies and specifically calling out Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Heard you talking about AOC over the weekend. Do you believe she is breaking the law?
I'll leave that up to DOJ. What I find disturbing is that any member of Congress wants to educate people how they evade law enforcement. You can claim you're educating those constitutional rights. Okay, you can keep that claim. What she in fact doing is telling people don't open your door, hide in your home, don't talk to ICE. We're talking about people who are in the country illegally, committed a crime, they're a public safety threat, they've been convicted of serious crime, and they've been ordered removed by a federal judge. So it's like AOC and others don't want ICE to enforce the laws that they enacted. She's a member of Congress. Let us enforce the laws you enacted. That's what we're supposed to do.
You can't go after her. Do you think others should?
No, I think I've asked DOJ, where's that line of impediment, of interference? Now, if someone stands in your way, prevents you from arresting somebody, put your hands on it, that's impediment. But what line is telling people to hide from ICE, not open the door? Where do you cross that line on impediment? So I've simply asked the Department of Justice, give us that line.
You have talked to them about this. That's what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Wow. We'll see where that.
Okay, a couple things before I get into that. Number one, there are lies there. A federal judge has ordered these people out. No, these are people they're rounding up. They're not convicted criminals. All of AOC was saying, because I saw it over the weekend, she was saying what the law requires of a law enforcement officer that comes to your house. And so now he has referred her to the Justice Department on the basis of all these lies he's telling to Fox News. And do you think for 1 minute after what Pam Bondi and DOJ did with Eric Adams' case, do you think there's even a scintilla of ethics left that they are not going to prosecute her?
I think this is a shiny object because the facts on the ground are they are deporting people at half the rate that Joe Biden was. And they know for the MAGA base, AOC is delicious. She's attractive. She's intelligent. She's a Latina. And she is not afraid to say fuck you to power. And so they have trotted her out to rile up the base, to distract from the fact that all of this, we're going to round up people. It's going to be a mass deportation from day one and all of this stuff. They haven't delivered any of this. All of that was blowhard bullshit during the campaign. You don't hear Fox News talking about caravans and all of the dangers of immigrants anymore. Now you hear them talking about the ones who have already been incarcerated.
Right.
That's who they're deporting because they sold their base a bill of goods. Inflation is skyrocketing through the roof. We have a rogue South African that has been unelected and unapproved by Congress that is raping and pillaging department. We have the Vice President of the United States face planting on the national stage, letting all of our decades-long allies know that we are not your friend anymore. And that brings, I want all of our international listeners to know that we're just as sad about this as you are. Not to mention, we have Elon Musk doing Heil Hitlers. So they want to talk about pressing charges against AOC. You know what I say? Do it. Charge her. Fuck around and let's find out. Do it. Do it. Quit with all the big talk. You want to go after AOC? Do it. See how that plays out. Speed up your process of just being as lawless as you possibly can.
I would love to see AOC just take them down, and I just don't think it would be that hard. Okay, so as we know, we had another plane crash yesterday. So what I found was very interesting based on the fact that day one, Elon Musk, sorry, that's my French bulldog. Elon Musk wanted the FAA director out of office because he was investigating SpaceX for the debris and an explosion. So he wanted him gone because he was going to fine him and all that. So that happened. Then we have the DC crash. Now we've had repeated airline crashes. And so this is what was published yesterday about the FAA. The Trump administration has started firing several hundred FAA probationary employees who maintain critical air traffic control infrastructure, according to their union. Now, That seems like exactly opposite what you should do when there is a airline crisis brewing. You have a shortage, a critical shortage of air traffic controllers. But no, they're getting rid of people. And guess why? Because Elon Musk told us why on Twitter, of course. The safety of air travel is a nonpartisan matter. SpaceX engineers will help make air travel safer. So, what he wants to do is he wants to privatize the FAA. He wants to put his SpaceX employees in charge of it. So, then guess who controls the airspace? Elon Musk. It's absolutely his diabolical plan in action. The only problem is, which he seems not to give a shit about, nor the administration, is people are dying.
Well, I want to call on Republicans because what stopped Richard Nixon were decent Republicans. And there are all of these senators, and I'll just take one of ours from Oklahoma, James Lankford. And he is this big, big faith and family freedom, national security type of guy. Why are all of these politicians are so consumed with their reelection versus doing what's right? And how we know this is look at Mitch McConnell. He never has to face reelection again. So what is he doing? He's voting like a rational person. Because at the end of his life, he knows that he governed on principles of bullshit and red meat for depraved individuals who have been wildly indoctrinated in a right-wing media echo chamber. And, I like to pick on Democrats some too, but generally what would stop this right now would be decent Republicans.
Right.
And I don't know that there are any. Elon Musk has said, I will spend $100 million if you try to challenge any of the moves of this administration. And I think some of them need to band together. I don't have any hope that they will, but I think that some of these decent Republicans can band together and say, we're not doing this. We're not going to be a part of any of this, but I don't think they will.
No, of course they won't. They're too worried about themselves, just like you said. Okay, so going on to another Republican failure to stand up to basically a face from Fox News being the Secretary of Defense. So the leader of the United States military who has exactly zero experience other than I think he was an Air National Guard or something. He did serve in the military, but not just with distinction. And he's run nonprofits into the ground for veterans. Well, so now he's the head of our military. And so some military families in the United States, let them know how they feel.
So that picture on your screen is what met Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth when he arrived at U.S. European Command earlier this week. Roughly 24 military spouses and family members protesting Pete Hegseth, specifically protesting the new anti-DEI policies and the ban on some books in DOJ schools. Protests by military families against a defense secretary are, to put it mildly, extremely rare. Our Pentagon correspondent, Courtney Kuby, said she could not recall another instance of it ever happening, even in the height of other controversial military decisions and moments.
Okay, I want to say something here. I have to say something. Living in a supermajority MAGA red state for decades, so many people here that are triple-time Trump voters say we support our troops. When they stand up to the national anthem, or I'm at an Oklahoma City Thunder game and there's like a veteran, they stand up and it's this thunderous applause. They do not vote with the party that funds veteran affairs ever. The myth that Republicans support the military from when the soldier starts all the way to the end of their life is bullshit. They support the military industrial complex, which is a capitalistic for-profit made for people to die. They make bombs for people to die. And that's what the Republicans support. It is bullshit. It is total bullshit. How we know this is Trump has already cut so many employees from the VA. Jon Stewart just damn near killed himself begging Congress to fund first responders and veterans that were suffering, that help keep us safe. It is a total myth, just like trickle-down economics, that the Republicans give a shit about the military. All they have to do is say, we support our troops on Fox News. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, We support the troops. We dipshits. If you would research and look anywhere, find out who always votes against these people who go out and lose limbs and get PTSD and have generational trauma from the wars that people like Dick Cheney and George Bush sent them to. It's bullshit and it's a total myth. And I've totally fucking had it.
I completely agree. I mean, they're already cutting. I saw that the Veterans Suicide Hotline is no longer manned, that they're cutting a ton of positions in Veterans Hospital. You're exactly right. If you go look, every vote Republicans vote no when it comes to funding something for the military other than making bombs. But something that I just saw come across, and make of it what you will, but we have Pete Hegseth on the world stage for the first time, and he's drinking throughout the entire thing. And if you'll recall, when he was being confirmed, there was a lot of talk about his abuse of alcohol.
The U.S. press, we're going to take 2 from the U.S., we'll take 2 from international, and then we'll go from there.
You have focused on what Ukraine is giving up. What concessions will Putin be asked to make?
Ultimately is guaranteed by strength of Europeans who are there prepared to back it up.
Right in the far right.
Regarding the new defense investment plan. When you and President Trump...
Pardon me, sir. What we're going to take from the U.S. is Logan Rattick from Newsmax, please.
Swirl in that in his mouth.
Japanese TV station. Thank you very much. I would like to ask about China.
Oh, yeah. Swirl.
Yeah.
Do you do that with water? Do you swirl it?
No. Does anybody that's not 5?
Okay, Pumps, we have to talk about this because we both, your ex-husband, my current husband, both had addiction problems. And I have to tell you guys, before I was ever exposed to alcoholism, I would have thought there's no way that somebody could be accused on a international stage like this of being a drunk and then would go and drink in public like that. I would have thought it was not possible in my naive, non-exposed to alcoholic brain. I have to tell you that alcoholics always deliver in their alcoholism. They value that over everything else. I don't know if it's alcohol or not, but I believe that this is a man, we don't know that he's been to rehab. But again, it's like the prerequisite for these people is to be as broken as they possibly can, to be a predator, to be a drunk, to be a drug addict in Elon Musk's case, allegedly, alcoholic in Pete Hegseth. It's like they see these people as more, I guess, manipulatable and more easily to be the most obsequious to Donald Trump. It's just bananas. But him like slurring over his speech there, that was a good laugh that I needed. Pumps, thank you.
Yeah, so that's our defense secretary in these just super peaceful times. Stick with us.